Welcome to Derby City Wrestling. Timmy Baltimore alongside Kenny Starmaker Bolin on the Louisville Network. Thank you for making us a part of your action-packed Saturday night. Kenny, tonight the first round of the tag team tournament continues to crown the first ever DCW tag team champions. And also, since it's the home of the hungry here in DCW, every wrestler here on their own dime, they get $500 off their tuition at the OVW DCW school.
$500 is a couple of weeks' pay to a lot of these guys, and it might not be a big deal to some of the rich guys in Louisville. It's a big deal to these guys. They're working, coming here. I tell you what, $500 will go a long way. Can't wait to see who gets it.
Speaking of being on his own dime, we just heard from Ted the Trailer McNail, or my man beast, issuing that challenge, laying down the gauntlet for Figure 4 Weekly's Chico Alvarez.
He's wanting Alvarez real bad, and I'm not sure about the math skills of Mr. Man Beast, but he's looking forward to getting Mr. Alvarez in his building. 7 days, I think we might get him here. We're trying.
Also, big news, we just acquired here in Derby City Wrestling, none other than official Joe Wheeler, former USWA official. What an asset to the company.
I've seen Joe Wheeler around here for a long time. He's been refereeing since back in the days of David and Goliath. So, yeah, he'll be a nice addition to OVW.
Well, we were scheduled for the imminent arrival of none other than the legendary Twinkle Toes, renowned BBC announcer. Yeah. But apparently there's been some immigration issues.
There's been some problems. Apparently some good citizen has alerted the Border Patrol and alerted the customs agents that there was a pudgy Englishman trying to gain access to this country, trying to gain access to this television show, and take my job. Well, I can assure you, my hat's off to whoever that nice little person was out there that tipped him off, because he ain't getting my job. Forget it. Ain't going to happen.
Well, the details are hazy, but more to come on that as the details become more apparent with Twinkle Toes. But the tag team tournament first round continues. Coming up next, the Insurgency taking on Richard Cranium and Specs. Don't move. Welcome back to Derby City Wrestling as the DCW Tag Team Tournament, the first round continues here this week. We will have 4 tag team matches, 15-minute time limit on each of them as we make our way toward the quarterfinals to crown the first ever DCW Tag Champs, and also find out which tag team gets $500 off each of their dues to pay here at the OVW DCW school.
Well, Tim, I would not be rooting or voting against the team in the ring. They're hungry, and they want that $500 as much as anybody.
Political ideals aside, this is a very capable trio. The following tag team contest is the first round in the tag tournament. Introducing first, coming into the ring by Bin Hameen, Ali and Omar Akbar, the Insurgency. The Insurgency in the ring right now, and not endearing themselves too much to this Davis Arena crowd.
Well, and nor should they. Don't worry. Uh-oh. There's some music I've heard in the past.
Wow.
Okay, that's not who I was expecting to walk out.
You talk about bringing up some bad memories for you, but nonetheless, here come 2 of the hungriest young wrestlers in all of Derby City Wrestling. Their opponents at a combined weight of 330 pounds, Richard Cranium and Specs. Specs and Richard Cranium, an odd duo to say the least.
Well, yeah, at least the Iraqis have the Battle of the Flag in common. Speaking of, here's a little prayer time, a little prayer to the flag.
You know, this could be handled in the back before the match.
Could be, but they elect to do it in the ring where everybody can pray with them.
Well, Joe Wheeler, our referee for this matchup, great asset to the company, as we said earlier. Of course, he and Ray Ramsey, our senior official, briefed all the wrestlers earlier on today in the locker room about the rules and regulation in every single matchup here tonight.
You know what? We're aware that we're in the USA. Everybody knows where we're at. Why not welcome our visitors from the East with some respect and dignity, and maybe chant, Iraq, Iraq, Iraq. Congratulations on your huge soccer victory. What about that?
I don't know if you got the memo. We're at war with Iraq. I don't think Louisville, Kentucky
I'm not at war with these 2 guys. 3 guys. Maybe 4 or 5. They might have buddies here.
I'd like to say you still shock me, but
well, they didn't do anything to me.
We're looking at for a clean break there. No such luck as Omar Akbar now has the arm of Specs.
Had they dropped a bomb on my mother's house, well, let me go somewhere else. Had they dropped a bomb on my house, I might be upset.
Also, the big news just in, we just heard Twinkle Toes supposed to arrive at the building a few hours ago. We have not seen hide nor hair of the legendary BBC announcer.
Isn't that a shame?
Well, word is there was some immigration issues.
At least the Iraqis got into this country legally. Apparently, Twinkle Toes tried to sneak in. Lord knows what they got him with.
Well, tag into Richard Cranium, and
Probably
right now we are
packing something illegal, contraband or something.
Well, certainly got a little a large shadow cast over us right now, as we are joined right now by Anthony Bravado and Sweet Stevie. Welcome, gentlemen.
I'm feeling super in Mr. Baltimore. You look sexy in that suit and tie tonight. But what I'm here to talk about is the tag team tournament. And in the second round, we've got Mason Rage and Von Lilas. And when I dream of Von Lilas, I dream of a tall, sexy, pretty little flower. Do you see the way he chops a man? It's sexy and hard.
No, come on.
The way I like it.
You dream of Von Lilas?
Yes, I do.
Well, I hate to cut you off, but you two were very impressive last week in the first round of the tournament, because next week, of course, you will be taking on quite possibly the most dangerous team in all of DCW, Von Lilas and Mason Rage. Anthony, your thoughts?
That's true. They are very dangerous. But let me tell you something, Timmy. When I get Rage in that ring, you see, Flex Magazine is coming down here to DCW to shoot me because I've got 25-inch arms.
Good Lord.
And I'm going to wrap one of those arms around Mason Rage's head. I'm going to hoist him up into the 30 seconds, the final countdown, drop him down to the mat, and he's going to feel like Armageddon came to him and through his body. And we're going to get the count for 1, 2, 3, and move on to the next round.
Well, you see Specs just tagged in right now. Specs and Richard Cranium gelling very well together. Gentlemen, I got to ask you, you're a very, somewhat of an odd couple as a tag team. Anthony Bravado, we had no idea who your partner would be, and you came out and shocked DCW by bringing out, well, the controversial
odd couple might be an understatement.
Well,
why Sweet Stevie?
Odd couple or not, call it what you will, but Stevie here earned my respect. He got in the ring with me and showed me what he's capable of. And as a team, we're going to plow through this DCW tournament and take the tag team titles.
Well, Stevie here dreams of Von Lilas. Who do you dream of, Anthony Bravado?
Oh, lots of women.
And now the Insurgency taking back control of this as they have Specs cornered in the center of the ring. And that's Omar Akbar with that front face lock on Specs.
Stevie, you said Baltimore looked real nice in his suit. How do I look tonight? What do you think of my wardrobe?
I think you look sexy too, but the bottom line is this. Mason and Rage, when it's all said and done, you're going to end up in a 71.
What the heck's a 71?
Oh, my goodness. I get
What's
it now.
What's a 71?
Don't ask. All right, boys. Good luck in the tournament.
That looked a little low for a high five to me.
Well, that was Sweet Stevie and Anthony Bravado, quite possibly the oddest couple in the tournament. But nevertheless, they will be taken to task next week when they take on Mason Rage and Von Lilas.
Don't let this get to the back that I said this, but I don't think they got a prayer against the school teachers. School teachers are going to beat them to death.
We will find out next week, but right now the story is Richard Cranium and Specs taking on the Insurgency. Don't forget about the intangible Ben Hameen, that traitor on the outside.
Sweet Stevie is 2 teaspoons of sugar away from being a Hershey bar, if you know what I mean.
And now tag into Omar Akbar. Omar coming in, and a punch right to the kidneys of Richard Cranium.
Richard Cranium ain't looking much like sugar or a Hershey bar right now. He's looking like a beaten man. Well, I may have smoked too soon.
Richard Cranium, one of the stranger individuals in all of DCW, but nevertheless, he can get it done. Says everything he does it for the kids.
He's just crazy enough to fight back with the Iraqis. You know so much about their work and where they work at, their jobs. I dare you to find a place of employment on Richard Cranium.
5 minutes. 5 minutes gone, 10 minutes remaining.
The color code.
Rocking and reeling. Richard Cranium on fire. Boy, the Insurgency, I thought they had this one under control. And look at that, Bin Hameen. Joe Wheeler didn't catch sight of it.
Well, what's illegal about it? Who cares if Wheeler saw it? Perfectly legal maneuver. What's the big deal?
Well, working over Richard Cranium.
What?
Is Omar Akbar. Hold on 1 second. Off camera, ladies and gentlemen, we have a situation.
Lord.
Bolin, where are you going? Well, folks, if you just joined us, Ray Ramsey just came out and told Star Maker Kenny Bolin something in his ear. I'm not sure what the issue is, but not in 10 years have I ever seen or heard of Kenny Bolin in his OVW career getting up and leaving his position. We've seen a lot of horrible things out of him, but I'm flying solo right now, Derby City. Where did the Star Maker go? The show must go on, nevertheless. Say what you want. We hope everything is all right. It had to be some sort of emergency. I didn't get a chance to get a word with Ray Ramsey. Beautiful high knee, though, to the back of the head of Richard Cranium. And Omar Akbar and Bin Hameen look very pleased thus far. The cover, both legs hooked. Oh, and both feet on the ropes. Great officiating on the part of Joe Wheeler. That right there is an illustration of why Joe Wheeler is an asset to Derby City Wrestling. And now the double team, of course. Both wrestlers have a 5 count, so they have to get back on the apron. And a well-executed neck breaker by Ali Akbar. Ali now going for the cover. Once again, both feet on the bottom rope. Great officiating once again. I don't know how many times they're going to be able to try to get away with that before Joe Wheeler throws the book at him. And now a tag into Omar. Omar Akbar, the Insurgency. They are putting a beating right now on Richard Cranium. And Bin Hameen talking a little trash right in the face of Cranium. This is, if you're just joining us, folks, thank you very much for joining us on the Louisville Network. This is the first match of the evening in the first round of the DCW Tag Team Tournament to crown the first ever DCW Tag Champs. And for the winners to get $500 off their class tuition here in Derby City Wrestling, the OVW school, the cover, and Specs, man, just saved this one for his team. And Joe Wheeler reading the riot act to Specs in the corner. Specs had about all he could stand. And Omar, there was no legal tag. Nevertheless, Omar Akbar in the ring and Richard Cranium in dire straits. As the chants of USA echo throughout the Davis Arena in disgust for the Iraqis, the Insurgency, the Akbars, and Bin Hameen. And behind the referee's back, the hands grasped between Ali and Omar Akbar to add pressure and leverage to that submission maneuver. Look at Cranium firing up. You don't want this guy to fly off the handle. He's a dangerous individual. But right now, he has been effectively quarantined from his partner Specs in the wrong side of town. Ali with that snapmare. Hitting the ropes. Oh, and he misses with that elbow. We saw last week Bin Hameen of the Insurgency scouting talent from up in the rafters of the DCW Derby City Wrestling Davis Arena. And you got to think maybe he was giving a look to Specs and Cranium. But right now the tag into Specs. And the Insurgency may be about to feel the effects of Specs. Boy, and this young man, so much heart, so much tenacity. And he just whips in Omar for his efforts. Omar better turn around, or maybe not, because he is on the receiving end of those jabs. What is Specs going for? Well-executed headbutt right to the bridge of the nose. Boy, and Joe Wheeler lost a little bit of control of this one, but you hate to throw it out, seeing that so much is at stake here in this first round of the tag tournament. A whip off from pillar to post. Oh, look at Bin Hameen. Bin Hameen for the second time in this matchup, paying off in dividends for the Insurgency. And you see Ali capitalizing on the interference. Oh, and a belly to back on the outside. Specs is caught in that camel clutch. Specs is caught. Will he submit? Will he submit? He does. The Insurgency advances. The Insurgency moves to the quarterfinals, much to the chagrin of the DCW faithful. here are your winners advancing in the tournament, the Insurgency. With Specs and Richard Cranium unable to get on the page, the Insurgency advances, but nevertheless, something terrible appears to have happened to Star Maker Kenny Bolin. Just a few minutes ago, Ray Ramsey came out and told Kenny Bolin some sort of news. That news is unclear, but Kenny Bolin, never have I heard or seen him just storm out of the Davis Arena. And we are now going to go to a commercial break as the Insurgency has advanced in the tournament. Well, ladies and gentlemen, I guess we're going to get a word. Gentlemen, congratulations, I guess, are in order, Bin Hameen.
Thank you, Timmy Baltimore. Omar and Ali Akbar, as prophesied by the Prophet Muhammad, and Bin Hameen are victorious in the first round of the DCW Tag Team Tournament. And as we say, taught by our prophets, Ya Allah, Ya Muhammad, Ya Ali. Thank you, Timothy Baltimore.
Well, it was your pleasure. Thank you very much. The Insurgency advancing in the tournament, and I am flying solo, Derby City, right out here all by my lonesome. Kenny Starmaker Bolin got up and left, but right now we're going to go to a brief commercial break. Please don't go anywhere. Coming up next, Los Locos in action. Let's see if they advance in the tag team tournament here tonight, and I guess I'm going to have to do the show all on my own, all on my lonesome. I guess we'll be right back, folks. Don't go anywhere.